Da 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 da. Da 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 da. You ain't play no intro.
Yes, I did. How are you laughing? How are
I
you
didn't hear
singing it
nothing.
if I didn't play it?
I'm so serious. I didn't really see it. It didn't come up for me.
You didn't see it. I was just playing it.
I don't know. It usually comes up. I don't know. It's different.
Something
It
wrong
usually,
with you today.
baby, ain't nothing wrong with me.
You sure?
I'm positive. I'm having a great day. I talked to somebody amazing, so I'm having a really good day.
Yeah, me.
I said today. I just started talking to you.
No, that this is today though. See, you see how
Mm,
she trying to do me, y'all? She's trying to
mm-mm.
be in backstage. She was giving me lip. She was being disrespectful. Yes, I was recording
So you
you
want
like
to
a white woman.
bring this up?
I was recording you
Okay,
like a white
Cardi.
woman.
Okay, Cardi.
I was recording you like a white woman.
No, like so
Anyway,
Cardi's a white woman. Well, she is
huh?
white Latina.
Who?
40.
Who's- I want somebody to hide her phone sometimes, but that's just me
Mm,
personally.
take it
Anyway,
away.
we are here for the for I guess we could call this movie madness with D and the girlie. I like saying it like that, the girlie. So today we are here to recap and review Moonlight. We also have a special guest later on. Hopefully they're able to come. If not, then it's just me and you today. How are you doing, friend?
Blessed, black, and highly favored. It is a Sunday. Tomorrow is a Monday. And I'm praying to
Yes.
God lets this 5 day go by fast. I always look forward to Saturdays.
I I think so. That is gonna go by pretty quickly.
Hopefully.
I myself I'm tired right now. I literally woke up like maybe half hour ago. I fell asleep by accident. I was watching something and when I woke up I was like, "Oh, it's done."
We call you
Oh,
the sleepy. What was the Snorlax?
I never really watched Pokemon. I told you this already. I never watched. You see how she being nasty to me? Let's wrap this up so I
That's
can get her out of my
nasty.
face. Let's wrap it up so I can get her out of my face.
He loved his face. Only y'all knew what he do to this face.
Anyway, what?
Huh?
What you said?
What?
I can rewind and then gather your ass later.
You can do whatever you want. I ain't gotta pick up. When the devil comes,
Okay,
you ain't gotta pick up the phone. You can just
right, but you the devil, so
not even close.
yes, you
You
is.
you know how to
Anyway,
get to Hades. Y'all hear that?
um, Moonlight. What did you think about this movie?
Over Overall for me, this movie is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It still takes me back to the first time I watched it, and I love movies that have silent moments because it speaks volume. And this movie has so many silent moments, and 10 out of 10. 10
Mm.
out of 10. And they got some beautiful black men in this movie that are now on amazing shows. And I almost said amazing movies for the last one, but that included TP. And I don't think that movie was
Oh,
amazing.
that was horrible.
All right.
That
But he was fine.
Mia Culpa was horrible. Let's call a
What do you
spade a
think about
spade.
it?
I um I felt like somebody was watching my life as a child, especially the middle part where I
Mm,
definitely relate. I saw this late in the movie theaters and I wasn't gonna watch it because I was not at that time I wasn't a big drama person, still not really. But when I heard about it and people gave it so much accolades and it was nominated for an Oscar, I was like, let me go watch it. And I saw it in theaters. I know it came out in 2016. I saw it like the following year, like early 2017. I
mm.
cried so much because it was like literally art was imitating life or life imitates art, however you say it. It really felt like I can relate. Definitely. So I like you said, um, it's a 10 out of 10, but as we speak, I'm gonna say something.
What's up?
Huh?
I said, what you want to say?
I'm gonna say it later at the end.
So we're still gonna do beginning,
Mm-hmm.
middle, and end, so everybody can
Yeah,
catch
we're
the
gonna
gist
talk
of the
about
movie.
him as Little, him as Chiron, and then him as Black. All
Okay.
right, so you want to start off about how like how you felt in
I
the
can
week?
start off.
Yeah.
You know, the movie starts off with Juan, which takes you a minute to figure out his name is Juan.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, what was his name? Not But it takes you a minute because you see Little being chased by a group of boys, and he runs into an empty apartment, locks the door, and is hiding from boys that are yelling out he's gay and trying to catch him and do something. I'm assuming beat him up, and he just
Mm-hmm.
looks so afraid. He's on mute. And then you have Juan coming in, checking out the crack house, because literally that's what it was, like a adult crack house, and
Mm-hmm.
being like, "What are you doing here?" And he sees him scared, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Come with me." And I was just like, how many people do this? See a child and know that's a child, and be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Come here, let me help you out. Let me put a hand down and show you. I'm not trying to harm you. I'm not trying to hurt you. You look hungry. Are you okay?" It was such the beginning was beautiful also to watch, to see how gentle he was with Little. Even with Little not saying nothing, but saying so much without saying anything at all. He was mute. He didn't say his name until they got back to Juan's house and they met the beautiful Teresa, aka Janelle Monae. She's
She
beautiful,
did it
y'all.
very well.
So beautiful. You want to add to the beginning? Because I don't want to go too deep.
Yes. First, I'm gonna say that each and every actor in this movie was fantastic. They all should have been nominated for something. From Mahershala Ali to Janelle Monae, even Naomi Harris. I want to say is the actress that played his mama.
I don't know their names. No,
You
I
know
don't
where
people's
she's
names.
from? She's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I haven't seen the
That's
movie in
Calypso.
years.
I haven't watched it at all. I just know she plays Calypso, and I just watched the clips of Calypso. Is a bad black woman, and I'm here for that. But I don't know. Pirates of the Caribbean I couldn't get into, but that's another story for another day. Um, like I said before, I relate to this movie. I remember, and the funny thing is, I'm gonna say this first. Um, the fact of the matter is that the way how Juan and Teresa treat him is kind of a contrast with how his mama treated him, as well as they knew from the beginning something was different about this little boy, and they knew how they meaning Teresa and Juan, and they treated him different according to, and they were waiting for him to say, if he's da 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 whatever, but they always would, if they wasn't really physically saying it to him, they would always tell him or seem like they would react like nothing is wrong with you. You are who you are. But I remember as a child, me being different, like Little, you know, a bit flamboyant, liking different things from other children. And I remember one day some other classmate called me gay and called me and said I had AIDS. And me being, yes, I was 8 years
Mm.
old. Me not knowing what either
Child.
one of those are, I come home and I said, "Mommy, what's gay?" And she, now as an adult, I understand that she was like, "Wait, what the hell?" And then when I told her, "Mommy, what's AIDS?" And she was like, "Wait, did somebody say?" So I said, "Somebody told me I had AIDS. What's AIDS?" She marched down to that school. She was so pissed. She wanted to beat the hell out that little child. But the funny thing is that me and my innocence, I didn't know. I legit just said, "Mommy, somebody told me I had AIDS. What's that?" I didn't know what it was. And seeing that scene with him being chased, thank God I've as a child, I never was bullied like that. I was just told, like, physically. Most of the time when I was bullied as a child, it was mostly physical. I mean, it was mostly
Hmm.
verbal. Have been physically, hit and all that, but I will always fight back though. But that was in my teen years. But as a child, that I will always be told little things like that. So when I see him getting bullied and stuff as a child, the first scenes I was like, oh my god, I just went into the to the time machine. I feel like, oh my god, this is my childhood right now, and I just want to cry. Get the Kleenex. But it was such an eye opener to see that it wasn't just me that went through this. That there's other little boys out there that are deemed different that this has happened to, and to kind of fast forward to the ending to show that even though he went through all these things, he's okay. He's good. He's. But it was such a eye opener one to see that this art was kind of imitating my life, as well
Hmm.
as to see that these two individuals that didn't really know him treated him with love as if they were his own parents. So I did,
I
yeah.
agree. I love how they treated him. They welcome him.
Hmm.
She said, "This is your home. You can always come here anytime."
Hmm.
For him, it was just it looked like a routine. Even when his mom would be like, "Why are you here? Go somewhere."
Hmm.
It's like, as a mom, how do you do that to a child? But when you hooked on drugs, when you're not mentally stable, it's so many things that you're not coherent in what you're aware of that you're doing. And no excuses, because she brought him into this world. She knew she had responsibilities,
Hmm.
and at the same time, she was still a human battling whatever what she was battling with, which was being hooked on, the coke. I mean, I'm gonna say it's crack. I think it's the rock. Crack, yeah, it's crack. And
Hmm.
him being the dealer, you saw his face when he opened that door and was like, "What are you doing? Go take care of it." She was like, "What? You gonna take care of him?" And I'm like, "You're mad because somebody else is doing the
Hmm.
job that you're supposed to be doing,
Right.
and then you with an ancient man
Hmm.
sitting next to you and seeing how you treating your child." I find like any man that's like that. That's just raggedy too. You raggedy too.
But
Like, you see
most
this
of these,
woman?
most low key, most of these men that are like, yeah, they a bit raggedy. They bit. But it was so he had an appetite too. The little boy was putting out some food.
He
Oh
probably
my
wasn't
god!
eating.
Because he probably did right. Did you? There was a scene where well, I had those days where he had to draw water and put the hot water on the stove,
Oh my gosh, it took me
and
back.
the
I
damn
said
the damn pot was bigger than him.
using dish soap to have a
Hmm.
bath,
That
and
the,
then
the, the whole dish soap thing, I was like, now what is you ain't got no Doyle, no Dove, no nothing.
no, you see how that bathroom is? They live in the ghetto,
They did. They definitely lived in the ghetto.
ghetto. They live in
And
freaking
funny thing is, like the pillow
welcome.
we just started talking about the movie. We're gonna do from when he was little to Chiron to Black. So we're still talking
Okay.
about him being little. But I was saying that as I was rewatching the movie too, I realized I'm like looking at Florida, I'm looking at Miami. I'm like, this reminds me, the landscape reminds me of Barbados a bit too. Just the way how certain things looked.
Hmm.
I just know exactly everywhere where they filmed. I know exactly where
Hmm.
they were. Like I knew
Yeah, because you're from
three corners,
Miami.
right? So, but I grew up in that neighborhood. I grew up in that neighborhood, so I
Oh.
Oh
walked
wow.
those streets. I know that's why I'm saying I know it made me think about when I was a child. I know,
Mm.
like when they were in that field running toward, when there was a railroad track in the background. I
Hmm.
knew where the house was. My aunt stayed in the house like that's right behind there. At one point, there's this big open field back there that leads to the railroad tracks off of 17th Avenue. And then parts of it was like when he trapped himself in the house that was in that apartment building like in the beginning. That was
Mhm.
Mhm.
on this on these apartments over on, I believe that's 61st Street. And that's like a block away from the Beans because he lived in the Beans, like where him and his mom lived. Those are the
Mhm.
pork and bean projects. Um,
Mm.
See, I
that's
knew
the
the
infamous
apartments.
pork and bean projects. Yeah, those are the
I knew
infamous
the
pork and bean
apartments
projects.
when they moved to when they were in what is it, Chiron in the middle. Because I'm born in Florida. I'm from Pompano, so I
Okay,
knew
so
that
you from
area.
Pompano. Okay.
Oh yeah, so I know that area. So I'm like, oh, I know this. I know this exact apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yo, this is like if you ever played Grand Theft Auto did a very good job at mapping out Miami.
Really
They
did.
did a
Really
very good
did.
job. I played
Mm-hmm.
that game. I was like,
The Liberty
what?
City one, the Liberty City one
Yes,
was really good. It was right on.
mhm.
It really
It was right
was.
on point. Hmm.
Um, the only thing that I thought the beginning part was so good, the only thing they got wrong is the mother's accent because she didn't talk. She's from England and she tried to do this like southern.
Mhm.
So she has a British accent and she tried to do this southern
Yeah.
drawl. And Miami doesn't have a southern drawl like that. Like that's not how we talk in Miami. So the way that she would speak sounds nothing like what you would hear how you would hear a mother speak in Miami. So that's the only criticism.
Mhm.
Now the actor that plays um that plays him as a little boy, he is from Miami, born and raised.
Oh,
Matter of
from
fact,
the
he
guy
went to
from The
Norland.
Shy, the little boy from
Yeah.
The
Hmm.
Shy.
He's born and raised Miami. Went to Norland Middle
Okay.
School and then ended up leaving Norland Middle School. Um, Instead of going to Norland Senior High, he went to which is right down the street from my house in Miami where I live, where my house still is now. Um, and going to do the Shy. So instead of
Oh,
going to high school, he left because Norland Middle School has a performing arts middle school where they have drama and stuff like that. And so he ends up leaving and going there. Um, and the other thing that I wanted them to do more of was make that connection about the Moonlight part of it. They spoke a little bit about it,
Mhm.
how when Mahershala Ali's character was talking about being in Cuba and
hmm,
how the lady
Mhm.
would talk about his skin and things
yeah.
like that. I wanted them to make that more of that of connection. I did like the fact that they highlighted the fact that most Cubans, when you go over there, are very dark skinned.
Black, black,
They are black, black,
Mhm.
black. When you go
blackity
over to
black.
Cuba, they are black, black.
Cuba, Dominican,
Mm-hmm.
Dominica, and then
Colombia
you
be
have
having some dark
Belize,
skin too. I had a friend that was black. That's from Colombia, darker than me.
Mexico.
Mexico.
There's
One of
black.
my friends is a black Mexican.
Mm-mm-mm. Now I did want
There's
to
a
say
lot.
about the mama. I thought for a second, which I didn't notice the first time I watched it. I thought for a second when I watched it this time around, the mama gave me a little bit of Caribbean accent. I was like, nah, that's not a Caribbean accent. I said, I don't know what accent that is, but it ain't right.
Yeah,
And
it
then I
ain't.
said
It
it
just
again.
wasn't right.
I said, what is this?
I think she is though. I think the actress has a little bit of Caribbean accent. Like her, the actress herself is Caribbean, I believe. Like she's
I
British,
know
but I
she's
think she
from
has
Britain, but
Caribbean
there's a lot of
like
Jamaicans
parentage
and
or something.
Caribbean people
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in UK. So her parents, she
Mm-hmm.
might have grew up,
Mhm.
with Caribbean parents, but
Yeah.
living in England. But I liked how they handled him when he said, "Am I a faggot?" I thought that scene
Oh,
right there, that was it was that
He
scene
did
right
say
there
it
where I
like
was
that
like,
though.
oh, I just remember being a little boy at one point about that age and being called that. And I never had anybody that I could go to and ask was I one. It's just you just sat there and
Mhm.
grappled with it. You thought in your head, like, am I? I mean, I'm just trying to be me.
Mhm.
But I just like how they dealt with him on that part.
I
I
just
was
told
telling Dee how quiet. No, go Dee.
I was like before you came in, I was telling girly a story about when I was young, similar situation where I was in school and somebody came up to me and say, "Oh, you're gay. You have AIDS." And in my head I'm like, I don't what is the, I don't know what gay is. I don't know what AIDS. I remember I went to my mom the same day. I was like, Mommy, what's gay? And she looked at me like, the hell? And then I was like, Mommy, what's AIDS? Do I have AIDS? She went down to the school and wanted to cuss out everybody in that damn school. Cause I'm 8 years old. I said, Mommy, what's AIDS? What is that? I didn't know what that was.
Mm.
But I will always be told I'm gay, I'm fruity, I have AIDS. And as a kid, you're like, do you? Like how you was like, am I a guy?
Hmm.
Am I?
Like, am I? Like,
Well,
is that what
no.
I am? Oh, I know. It's so horrible. I tell people
It
all the time,
is.
people don't understand the mental acrobatics and the mental duress that a
Mm-hmm.
young LGBTQ plus person has to go through just trying to figure their own selves out. Like this battle in your head that you're going through constantly all day, every day. It could change you, man. It's exhausting.
It really,
I mean, it definitely changed him at the end.
it,
You see what
it
life he's
did.
living. It,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
we'll get to that, but
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I still think this is probably one of Janelle Monae's best, some of her best work. She played the hell out of this character in the first part of the movie.
She
I don't know
did.
about her later on, but the first part of this movie, Mama played that part. She played the part. I would have liked
Mm.
her more for the mother than I like the mother.
oh,
Oh, Naomi, Naomi. I thought Naomi Harris did good. I mean, the accent, I guess, wasn't there. I'm not from Miami, so I really don't know. But
I was expecting
I thought
Caribbean
she
at
did a
least. I
great
said,
job.
okay.
I thought she did a great job. I think everybody did really good. Did really good. But anything else about the first part of the movie? Did we miss? I don't think we really missed anything.
No, I think we went over everything, especially with the mom and how she treated him and how
I
she was
will
so
say
strung out.
this. It took me until after the movie because I don't think they did a good job with casting little Kevin.
Oh, little
The light
Kevin.
skin,
Oh
Oh,
yeah, 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 yeah.
because
I
I
agree.
didn't think that was the
Yeah,
same character when they got to the second part. I said, that's not the same guy,
see,
is it?
ashy lip. Ooh,
I didn't think that was the second. No, I'm talking about the light skinned guy who Jarrell Jerome played.
ashy lips.
Yeah. I was
I
like,
was,
okay. The only thing they had in common was he was when he was younger, he was light skinned, but he was like fat and chubby and didn't look anything like him. And then when we got to the
anything like
second part, I was like, that can't be the same character, is it? I thought it was a completely new character. And so my friends who were in the movie with me, because we saw it the day it came out. Like it was a big thing down here. So we
mhm.
literally saw it the day it came out.
yeah.
They
I
were like,
saw it the
oh,
same
that's the
year. It
same.
was good.
I saw that Aventura. So I saw that Aventura the day it came out.
See, I don't know what they talking about. They from Florida.
That's a movie theater down in the northern part of Dade County, right between Dade and Broward
Mhm.
County. Aventura Mall. It's a big mall, real big mall. Anyway, but they had to tell me, no, that's the same guy. And I was like, no, that's not. They were like, yes, it is. And the people told us to shush in the movie.
Well, lucky my theater was empty because I saw it late.
Oh man.
But I knew that it was the same character. He over here saying ashy lips, but
Mm.
I I I I don't know. It did look like the
Girlie,
same
the high
character.
school they filmed it at was Miramar.
Are you serious?
It was Miramar. That's a Miramar High School. Matter of fact, I was
I
teaching
didn't
at the
really know that. They
time,
didn't tell
and some
my
of my
business.
students were extras in that movie. In the in the part where they were at the high school, some of my students were extras.
That's what I'm talking about. They really went in. They said we were gonna get some people from Florida. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
make this look like Florida. We're gonna go to the hood. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
put the spot.
They were right at Miramar High School. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They
Did not
having
know.
a Florida whatever over there.
Oh man. To me, this is the best part of the movie. The second part was
The
the best
second
part
part
of the movie.
was where
It
they
was
laid the
to
foundation.
me, this was my favorite part of the movie
Hmm.
was in the second part. Some of the best acting to me happened during this second part.
Hmm.
Like that,
Hmm.
it was some good stuff here. It was some good stuff here. Good stuff here. Hmm.
It even took over to where even I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead in the second part. But even when you remember the first part, he was telling him like, you have to show people they can't mess with you,
Mm-hmm.
and it led to him showing
Mhm.
like, I can't come back to this school sitting down doing the same routine. I have to. I'm gonna have to show up. I'm gonna have to show out. I'm gonna have to beat this man up.
Mm-hmm.
And his anger, when he swung that chair, I said, "Oh, that's
I
that
thought he
brother."
died. I thought he was dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I thought he was dead. He got knocked out.
No, he got knocked out.
Yeah.
Deserved. Deserved.
And
Deserved.
I mean, since we're skip, my favorite. I mean, he had been. It was so much trauma that he was going
Mhm.
through at home, as well
Mhm.
as in school. Like you have no escape, And I think that as an educator, one thing that I always wanted to be able to at least give some students was the sense of you at least have one place you can go and just breathe, get an escape, not have to be, have people attacking you. And I think that teacher did a poor job of protecting the students in that classroom.
Oh,
Like for me,
teachers.
as a
Okay.
teacher, you have to protect everybody in that classroom. You never know
Mhm.
what that child may have experienced coming there or may have to go through when they leave there. So at least give them one safe space. And the teacher was real like laissez-faire about it. Like, okay,
Mhm.
well, y'all will work it out.
He was
Cause I
like, "You
think
see it."
yeah, you can't. Cause I think like to me, they never gave a specific timeline, but to me, I think like when he was a little boy, it was like in the 90s, then the 2000s when he was a teenager, and then I think like when he was an adult, like now.
I think it's
No,
80s.
no, no, no. It was further back. You know how you know?
Yeah, it's the
It was
80s.
because they was in the 80s because they had the old
Yeah,
crown air freshener. Now you got to go back
Which
to
one
know
was the 80s? The middle?
when
the
he was a little
beginning,
boy.
or
When
the
it was the
beginning
80s when he was a
Oh, the
little
80s.
boy.
80s
And how I could
Hmm.
until
tell is that was a thing back in the day. You would have it was this air freshener. It was in the shape of a crown. It would sit in your thing, and you will open it, and it was like a big thing in Miami back in the day. You had the little box Chevys like they had and stuff like that, but it was set in the 80s. And then when he was in high school, that was the 90s.
Hmm.
okay. But I remember back in like the 90s to 2000s, teachers wouldn't really do anything much, especially for kids that seemed LGBT. Because I would get my ass beat every day, or just I'll be sitting in the bus and a fist would just smack me in the back of my head, or I'll be in a classroom and somebody would throw something at me. Teachers never did anything.
And
Teachers never
which
did
is so
anything.
unfortunate. I know what that's like. I've been experiencing myself, and so that's why
Yeah.
when I became a teacher, I was adamant about it.
Mm.
Um, but as
Do you
much
mind me asking, primary or secondary?
what grade did I teach?
Yeah, you primary and secondary.
I taught high school. Well, I started off middle school and then transitioned to high school.
Okay.
Mm.
I thought, but what we did see this to me was him as the happiest I saw him in this movie was during the second scene. I mean, the second part of the movie, which was when
Hmm.
remember when they left the beach after they did all of the stuff they did at the beach.
Hmm.
When he came home and got out that car and closed the door and he turned around and looked at Kevin, he had this look of just like joy, like he was so happy that he had found somebody, he
Hmm.
had experienced what he had experienced with his friend, and you could just see all over his face that he was
Hmm.
just there was this joy all over him, and it made me smile. I remember watching, I was like, he could breathe, he felt so good, and then right after that shit went to hell in the handbasket. Like
A good exhale. It was a good exhale. He really was.
yeah,
He.
man.
It was a moment of just being like, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. You've been my friend. I didn't know you felt whatever you felt too. And it's like my first time experience is with you, somebody that I call a friend. Like I felt that moment. Like when he
I
turned
did too.
around and that little moment of them just,
Hmm.
I
I
said,
felt that, like that whole scene right there. It was like, yeah, that was the best scene to me. I really love that scene.
I loved it. And now Juan is no longer
It
Juan is
definitely
no
was.
longer there. And I wonder if that is the reason why
Yeah, I
that
wanted to.
shifted.
Yeah, I wanted to add that as well as him. him going through with him and his mama and being bullied at school. I wanted to add that in too. He was
Mm-hmm.
probably still, not probably, because they never said when he died, but it seemed like it was recent. Because
He could have been
it's
still
still,
grieving.
he was still going through the grief, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was still going through grief because they mentioned that it was kind of recent. Did he go?
No, I'm here.
No, I think he just turned off his camera.
Oh,
I'm here.
but I
I
think
didn't go anywhere.
it was pretty recent. Yeah. Like I like that they didn't give a specific timeline, but you knew when certain things happened. Basically, I
Hmm.
did like that a lot. I did
I
like
didn't
that a
like how
lot.
his mama was like, "Come on, let's go inside." What was his grandma house? Let's go inside your grandma house. Your grandma locked herself out or something. And then they go into the house and she over here shuffling, trying to find money, whatever, getting
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and then shaking him up, talking about I'm your mama. I raised you. You came like she's not Teresa's not your mom. I'm like, girl,
But
you
that
so strung out, you can't even see what you doing to this boy.
I've experienced that too, and I know what that's like. I know exactly what that is like. I know I had a mama strung out on drugs and all kinds of stuff too. So I know real firsthand how you get a little something and they the little bit you get they trying to take that it is exhausting. It's consuming. It is something that um it really cuts into your self-worth. And I think that's why I say I think this actor did a great job of portraying just all of the emotion that he had to be carrying around. Like I can only imagine. I because I try, and I'll be honest, I try to put out of my mind a lot of stuff from childhood because it was a lot of traumatizing stuff. So I purposely try to, not relive all of that stuff. And I just remember when I watched this movie, it kind of took me back. Because Terrell Alvin McCraney and Barry Jenkins, we're all the same age. Barry Jenkins graduated same year I did. So that Terrell, all of us graduated the same year. Barry Jenkins went to Florida State with me. I went to Central. He went to
Oh wow.
Northwestern. I went to Central. Barry went to Northwestern with Terrell Alvin McCraney. They all went to Northwestern. So, but I was at Florida State with Barry. We all graduated from Florida State together, and so I know what it the way they made the movie. The point that I'm making it really took me back to some dark times as a child in high school and as a small child, and it just really that's why I love the movie because it really it's hard for me to have something really just take me back to a place, and it really just took me back to a place, and I was like, God, I didn't want to relive this stuff. Did not at all. Did
It
not at all.
Even though I'm not from Florida, but like I felt
It's
like
relatable.
someone was looking into my life. Like I was like, who was following me
Yep.
around with a camera?
Yeah.
Like
It's
this is
still
legit.
relatable no matter where you're
It's
from.
so
It's relatable.
relatable.
Hmm.
It's so relatable. It's so
Yeah.
relatable. Like especially like I never cried so much in a movie theater or for a movie, especially the second part. The second part, even
Oh,
when Kevin was like, "No, stay down, stay down." That was so. I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah. Oh man, the stay down part. I was snot bubbles at that point. I was just like snot.
Mm-mm.
It was no consoling me at that point.
but
I
but
was like,
how weak was that though? But even prior to it building to a point where he is the guy with the dreads in his class is bullying him and picking on him, and it's like you see this person is not even trying to fight you. It's weak. When I see people do that, I think it's weak. It's like you have to
Mhm.
pick on the person that's literally not bothering anybody to show how macho you are, how much of a quote unquote man you are. Like, oh, ain't nobody gonna mess with me, but you're picking on the person that's not bothering anybody. Somebody that's like literally just sitting there days. You don't even see this boy. You don't even see Tyrone paying attention. Every second and every moment, this kid is like literally dazed out, wondering. And I see what you're saying. It could have been recent because his mind. Every time you saw him,
mhm,
he was sitting there just staring off
trying to
into the
figure out
distance.
life.
Yes, and it's like
Mhm.
then he gets his friend. He gets Kevin to do his dirty work. You remember that game we used to play? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you so raggedy, you can't even do it yourself. You get somebody else, and then you get a group of boys to all jump him. This man is defenseless. And then his friend not even being able to stand up and being like, no, I'm not going to do it.
And then when they went to the counselor and they act like they didn't believe him. Remember when he went to the counselor and nobody was on his side when they went to the counselor. I was like, really, this what we're doing?
He was like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know. He was like, I don't know. And I was like, lady, you act like locking these kids up is gonna solve this boy's problem. It's not.
And then when he finally get his comeuppance, Kevin is the not Kevin, sorry. Sharon was the one that got in trouble. Like that always happens though. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
that always happens.
That's what I'm saying. She was like, they did not care when it all went down. They did not care. And that's why he was like, you don't know. You just don't know. You do not know everything that young man got going on. What he got to go home to, what he got to live with. He's still grieving. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know. And now I got to be sitting here getting bullied every day.
And then they're talking about his mom too. It's not even just talking about himself. They're talking about your mom. They're calling your
Mm-hmm.
mom a drug, a crackhead, and all this. And it's like every day you're being picked on for just existing.
Mm-hmm.
You come to school, you look to your left, you stay in the school building because you're scared to leave. You see the people
Mm-hmm.
downstairs waiting on you, waiting to get jumped on. You have nobody
Oh,
that has your
child.
back. Nobody is gonna say nothing. Like the whole thing took me back. That took me back to when I was being bullied in high school to middle school. Because it made me feel like I remember that times where I didn't want to go home because I know the best times
Mm-hmm.
for people to fight you was when you was getting off that bus.
Mm-hmm.
If they were bold enough,
Mm-hmm.
they would fight you on the bus. And I used to be like, I do not
Mm-hmm.
want to be on the bus. Like the bus was not, and he was walking, so they knew his route. They knew where he was going because they even pulled up on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you have to have, you have to be low self esteem as a person to even think you picking on somebody that is not even bothering you. I just felt like that whole thing was disgusting. It shows how they also had issues within themselves that they had to do that to him. It's a whole
Mm-hmm.
cycle.
I,
It is.
I thought one of the great things, just overarching, that I liked about both the first and second parts,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't heavy on the fact that he was LGBT, that he was gay. That wasn't the
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
main overarching storyline. It was just him trying to navigate being a child. You know what you got going on at home, being bullied,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to grow up in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Living this urban lifestyle, trying to make it, trying not to get beat up, trying to
Hmm.
make it through life. And that just was a small part of who he was, and I appreciated that it wasn't like, but it was just a part of who he was. You knew it was, but it was so much other things that he had to deal with. And the reason that I bring that up is so many times you'll see parents or people on the outside. That's the one thing they harp on about that child, not knowing that child has so many other things that they're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with and have to endure or deal with, and that's just a little part, and that's the only part you seem to be concentrating on when they got so many other needs. And so I love how that's brought out, and
Hmm.
we get to see all, when he was little, we got to see him enjoy sometimes being a child, and then as a teenager we got to see all of those rough things that a lot of teenagers go through. Teenage years are hard. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? They are hard. And so we got to see all of that go on with it as well. So I thought that was very interesting that it wasn't overbearing in those first two
Yeah,
segments.
agree. And then also it showed him as a kid being in survival mode. As a kid, you should never have to go through that. You talking about
yeah.
this kid did not want to go home. When they asked him where do you live, silent. That spoke volume to them to be like, oh, this he doesn't want to go home. Why doesn't this
Mm-hmm.
kid want to go home? And the mom just so defensive when he comes on. Where you been? Who is this? And I'm like, girl, you should be
Mm-hmm.
thankful. This man, this grown man, took your child in, fed him, brought him back to you because you didn't care. Where were you, Smokey the Bear? Huh? Where were you?
That's
You know what's
stupid.
so funny? The other part that I forgot to mention from the first segment that I remember, I grew up poor. I know what it's like when the lights are out and having a gas stove and being able to still turn on the stove, boil that water, and pour it in. I
Baby,
never
Oh, I
we
done
had
that
talked
to
about
before.
that.
Oh my God. Or putting your
being from
clothes
the
for the next day
Caribbean.
underneath that mattress. You know how you put your clothes for the
Hmm.
next day underneath the mattress so it get iron? Oh my God, that took me back. I laughed so hard on that part. I was like, yeah, there you go. You gotta take this back.
I had to do that for a year in my grandmama's house. We had
Oh
to
my
boil water, and
God.
the thing is, it was me and my two other cousins, and we had to rush to take a shower in the morning for school.
It's a
So
whole
you try to
process, though.
rush. It is. It's a
Yep.
lot.
Now,
It's
the
a
part I
So
lot.
didn't relate to was the dish soap. I said, "Nah, I ain't never used no
Now the
dish soap
dish
for no
soap,
bath
no, we had real
I
soap.
used for bubble bath, dish
for
soap.
bubble bath."
Yes, that works the
No,
best. I've
no.
done that before. Now I have done. Yes,
Mm-mm.
God.
Uh,
Yes, God. Get this
Not
good dish
yes,
soap. And listen, the cheaper the dish soap, the better the suds it make.
Ugh.
I'm trying to tell you what I know. If you got that dollar store, if you got this
but that
dollar
is
store kind,
bitter.
it was
You
gonna
can't
make
even go
good
under
bubble
under the
bath
That
water.
palm
suds.
It's so
olive,
bitter.
palm olive.
I know all about it. I know all about that. That's the part I knew about.
I said, was the bar of soap not enough? Because the bar of soap is right there.
No, you got to have a bubble bath. You got to experience some things.
Not him using Dawn. He over there
For
using
that.
Dawn to make love.
I'm
I
trying
was
to
like,
tell you.
oh, okay.
Grandma come in there talk about where's my dish detergent. Everybody looking around because everybody did it. Everybody, let's be clear, everybody did it. Everybody look around like
That is
mhm.
hilarious.
Everybody did it. It's so funny because it made it much more fun to take a bath with the bubbles than it did without when I was a little boy. You know, little boys are some of the dirtiest creatures on earth. They don't like to take baths. Let's be clear.
Um,
They don't.
I
And
had
left
a
to
um,
cousin.
themselves, they'll never take a bath ever.
I had a cousin that for 4 days he did not shower, and his parents allowed him. I was mad at them. I was like, "Why are you
Mm-mm.
allowing this boy to not shower for
Baby, you
four
go in that shower and come out, you will
days?"
get inspected. They'll take some. Go back in there. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Go on back in there.
be
Go back
quick
in
in
there.
there too. I'm like, you just left, and I heard the toilet flush. So, sir, did you just use the toilet after you just got out the shower? Hop back in there. Go back and scrub and wipe. Use a
Go
towel.
back in there. You did not.
Um,
Hmm.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Anything else from the second part of this movie that we missed out? I think
Um,
we covered.
I mean, we didn't talk about the beach scene.
Oh yeah,
We, yeah, it was.
mm, that
It
was a
was a
moment.
teen experience. I mean,
Mm.
it made sense. I mean, I never did all that, but
You know what? I like that they put it there because we get so
hmm
many heterosexual
hmm
teenagers, making out, doing what they do, and you never get. And if you do get to see gay teen sexy, it's always two white people.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh,
never two black boys. Two black
no,
boys,
no top lip.
two of them. You might get a black and a white, but two black. Oh no, you're not getting that. No,
no
you're
I
top
not.
can't
lip. You
watch them.
said.
No top lip. I be so mad. I'm like, ugh. You got no top lip.
Girl. But they looked like they was over. They weren't at Hollover. I could tell they was at I think they was at North Beach, not Hollover. Not quite at Hollover.
Do you think that was the same beach Juan took him to?
I don't think so because it was
I
far.
don't know. That's a good
Because
question.
he took a train there, no, in the beginning, and then
Well,
he
he was
drove him
sleepy.
back.
No, he drove him. I thought
But remember, in the before the beach scene, he was on a train or something.
And he was sleeping at the train station.
that was
He
the
was
Metro
sleeping.
Rail, wasn't it?
hmm
Yeah,
He
he
was
was at the
sleeping there.
Metro. But what I'm saying is, I mean, with Miami topography, there's no way for you to get to the beach on a train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's no way. No beach you can get to from the train. Like the closest beach I could think of is Virginia Key, and that's if you get off down south by Vizcaya, and then maybe you could walk over to Virginia Key Beach. And it's still a bit of a walk. So yeah.
But I did like the beach scene though. I was feeling it. My body was like about to happen.
When he
Oh
clenched
Lord.
He
that
asked some
sand,
questions.
Yeah.
he was clenching that sand like, okay, I see you. Mhm.
I said, I know that felt good.
Because
But then
remember,
he
he kept
rubbed.
daydreaming. Remember, he kept daydreaming about having
He kept
sex with him.
daydreaming about. I was gonna
Hmm.
say
No
that
more about
too.
him
Like
having
when he
sex
went
with
to
the
Teresa's
girl.
house. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He kept
When
daydreaming
he went
about
to
him having sex with the
Teresa's house.
girl.
At
Mm-hmm.
first, when he was dreaming, I didn't know he was dreaming until they showed him waking up at the end. I thought he was carrying Juan and Teresa, and he was walking outside. And then when I saw him turn around, he was like, "Everything good, Black?" I
Hmm.
started watching. I said, "What is happening?" And then he woke up. I said, "Oh, you into that? You like that?
Hmm.
Okay, you
Like to
like that little
watch.
ashy little boy."
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But when he had finished, he could have washed it in the sand in the water. You took the sand, it's gonna clump up. It's gonna dry up on your
It
hand.
is
It's
gonna
gonna.
clump up.
I said, "The
You could have
kids. How
gone in
about
the
the
water,
children?"
huh?
I said, "What about the?" I said, "What about the children?" I said, "What about the children that come to the beach? Over here doing that? Over here doing."
Oh
They
my
are
I was
god.
children.
like,
They're
"Goodness
children too.
gracious!"
Child.
They children too. Now,
But
I wonder how long.
I will say, as a Miamian, I did as a teenager used to go to the beach sometimes, even at night, just to get away and just clear my thoughts. So I remember doing that, just going to the beach. I usually Hollover was my beach of choice always, but I would just go there because the waves, even if it was getting dark, I would just be able to just go out there sometimes on the weekend and just clear my brain and just get away from everything that was going because the beach is far away from the hood. So just to get away and just be like, okay, I'm away from all. Even if they tried to call me, we ain't had no cell phones back then. But even if they needed me to get home, it couldn't happen that fast, you know. So I felt that I really enjoyed that part of it because I used to do that.
They even mentioned him. He was like, sometimes when you're just walking in the neighborhood, you get that second of feeling that breeze.
mhm.
And I was just like, that's the sense of like, he's like, your heart stopped at that moment. I'm just like, through the chaos, the things
Yep,
that you're not even surrounded by, those little moments, you catch it. You really do catch it.
yep.
And then they just looked at each other, and I was just like, you're playing a role, and he's playing quiet. You trying to play tough guy, but you want to support your friend. You want to be there for your friend. But
Hmm.
Kevin just really was just a poser too. I was like, oh, Kevin,
Yep,
you a poser
Mhm.
too.
yep.
Oh.
Trying to
Definitely
put
was.
on to get on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mad as heck when he punched him. I said, oh, we're no longer friends.
You
I
Yeah,
don't
know,
care what
yeah.
you
I
tell
was
me.
saying that too. I was like, I don't know if I would want to see you ever
Yeah,
again.
yeah, we not. Yeah, we can't be friends no more. You can just
I
put
was
your
shocked that
hands
he
on
didn't get
me.
his lip back, but
It was still feelings there for it. That's why. I felt like
hmm
at the end of the day, it's like he looked at him like, I understand why you did what you did, but I'm always. That's why he kept standing up. He's like, just sit down, stay low, and I'm like, he's not gonna stay low because what did you tell him? You got to stand
hmm
up for yourself and show these boys
Yep.
that you can fight. They can't be playing with you. And if I sit down after you just told me I got to get up
Right.
and show they can't play with me, what do I look like? You just gave me the advice I was supposed to do back when I was little. Now I'm Chiron. You trying to transfer me to black? I ain't this person. I'm
hmm
trying to now be tough because you're telling me I have to be tough so they can stop messing with me. But look at what happened now. I'm jumped. Nobody cares. I'm by myself. You don't even see his mom coming. Don't even know where she at. It's not like he
I
can
don't
call
think she know where
Teresa.
she at.
That's true. that glass pipe had her.
Lord,
That
had
glass
on
pipe.
lock,
Mm.
had her on lock, and now he's
So now
arrested.
now we're up to Black. This was the shortest scene too, like the shortest um, part of the movie too, the last piece.
Yeah. I
Mm.
feel I feel like I wanted more of how he got there. I wanted more backstory about how
Mm.
he got there, like what everything that they brushed over it real fast. They
Mm-hmm.
may have been, there may have been some budget issues. You dealing with a short amount of time, and you had something couldn't make it off the editing room floor or whatever. But I wanted a little more of the backstory of how he got there, because he had turned into full on thug and was telling them, remember the man was short or whatever.
I'm a classic man.
I mean,
You
he
can
did
be.
tell a little bit because then he finally, when they were in the kitchen, he said,
Mhm.
after I got into that fight, they sent me to Atlanta. I was in
Hmm.
juvie, and I was like, "Well, this is quick. Like, this is why you're
Mhm.
now in it." Because I was wondering, how did you get from Miami to Georgia? Like,
Right.
And that
how
right.
did you go? And him saying, I was like, okay, so that's how you got there, and now your mom's in rehabilitation
And
center,
thank
and
God. Oof.
I
She
said,
they
That
yeah,
The makeup
whew,
was
that
good too. The makeup
that
was
that
good on
scene between the mom and
and
him.
Black. Hmm.
I would I just wasn't here, and I'm like that sometimes with my mom. Sometimes I'm just like I was with feeling him on that, like, baby, you done already made your mess. I don't have it to do. We're here now, baby.
Hmm.
All of this crying and carrying on, you know. He was a lot more nice to his mom than I probably am sometimes now
you know
to my
why?
own mom.
I felt like he was a little bit more nicer when it came to his mom because it was still his child. You know how they say how a person responds to something, it tells you what age they're at.
Hmm.
He is still, even as a grown man, that he barely spoke.
Yeah,
Black barely spoke. Black was
Hmm.
still little. Black was still
yeah.
Hmm.
little at his big age. He was very quiet. He felt his mom. He sympathized towards his mom because he was like, "You're the only person I got. I have nobody. I'm visiting you. You're still." He was like, "When are you gonna come home?" And she was like, "I'm just gonna stay here and take, help the other people." Because I felt like she probably was scared herself. If I leave this place, I may go
Hmm.
back into whatever I was fighting.
Hmm.
And he probably just still wanted his mom. He probably still wanted the person to be like, like when she broke down and said, "I love you. I'm sorry, I wasn't the best." I I felt that. I cried when I saw that in the movie theaters. I definitely cried because I feel like as kids you don't understand adults, but when you're an adult you should understand another adult. Because I went through that with my mom. I didn't get why she treated me the way she did when I was a kid. And then when I got older and I had conversations with her and I saw how she grew up, 'cause my mom's from Haiti, and I saw the travel and everything that she went through to get to even Florida, I kind of understood it. Parents, people become parents, but they still don't let go of who they are and what they've been through. And
Hmm.
it doesn't excuse them, but at the same time, it gives you a different perspective to be like, let me step back and understand where you were at the time where you had kids and you weren't present in my life and how you ended up to where you are now. It was a full circle moment to see her getting the help that she needed and also telling her son, you need to also get help yourself.
Girlie, when I come home to Miami later this month, I need some grill and I need some pickles with my grill. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
I'm in,
I'm
Oh,
greedy.
I'm in Georgia now.
Oh, you in Georgia now? What part?
Yep. Jonesboro by Atlanta, about 25 minutes from
Oh,
Atlanta.
that's you two. See, I'm on Sandy Springs. That's way, you
Oh, you're
know.
not far.
But Jonesboro is way down there. That's about a good hour for me.
That's not an hour. I met with somebody that was a good 25, 30 minutes. Yeah, I went.
I,
There's nobody's 25, 30 minutes to no Sandy Springs from no Jonesboro.
Yes,
No,
it is.
ma'am.
I went to where did I go? I went to this Jamaican spot
in Sandy Springs. Very delicious. It was not that far. I'm telling you, I was. And I don't even like to be driving like that. I'm a passenger princess.
But you
It's a
always driving though.
Yeah, but I stop. That's the thing. I don't do.
Atlanta traffic will make you stop. It
Oh,
absolutely will make you stop driving.
Mm-mm,
it
Like
definitely
I
will.
jump on the MARTA in a minute before I drive my goddamn car.
mm-mm.
If I'm getting on the train, yeah, give me the train.
Give you the train.
Um, I think that um I think that after that conversation with his mom, you know, he realized that he just didn't have anything or anybody. There was nothing holding him back. Nothing holding him
Mhm.
back. He didn't have any kids, nobody, no nothing. The drug game it'll be there when he get back. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so he said, "Well, let me up it. Why not? Well, I'll be back. I'll be back whenever I come back."
He literally left. He dipped.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
said, "Oh, he on the highway.
Hmm.
He driving. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna take your offer. You cooking me some dinner. I'm a bit parched and I'm hungry."
That's a
I said,
9 hour
"Okay,
drive.
that
That is a 9 hour drive. Let's be clear. People don't think that's okay. That ain't no, I'm just gonna get up and hit it. That is 9 hours.
no."
That's a hard 9 hours too. And that's if you drive the turnpike down. That's 9 hours. I'm sorry. From Atlanta to Miami, you're driving 9 hours. And that's
I was
with
like,
no
"Ooh,
traffic.
ooh." I
You
said, "No,
driving
he determined."
75 all the way down until it turn into the turnpike, and then you gonna hit that turnpike down into Miami. I'm telling you what I know.
That just
Nine
lets you know
hours.
he
I've done it.
determined. 9 hours? Yeah, he
Mhm.
determined. He knew what he was coming for.
Oh yeah.
He knew.
Oh yeah. If I drove 9 hours, oh yeah, I'm getting more than just this good meal. I'm telling you what I know.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I even like how they kind of teeter tot, like, back and forth a little bit on, they don't really want to say, but they're saying it. Like, what you been up
That
to, man?
mhm.
What you saying, D?
That's I was gonna save it to the end, but they never really said he was gay. I mean, we knew it. I mean, we know that he had
But I don't
relationships.
think they needed to.
They
No,
did not. They
no.
didn't at all. And another show with Euphoria too. When they first introduced Jules, they never called her trans, but you
Mm.
knew.
And you
But
know
I
what
do
I
love that.
one thing I love about this third scene, the third part of the movie, to me it had some of the best visuals. The
Hmm.
visuals in this third part for me were some of the best, like the cinematography, in that diner, even when he was driving down, when
Mm-hmm.
they got to the house, the cinematography was so good in this third section. Like there were a lot of stills that you could just take and take. It was great. The visuals were everything to me. Even like you said earlier, the makeup with the mom and
Hmm.
everything. It was real
They
good
made her look. She
cinematography in this
looked
third part.
old. I'm like, that lady in
Yeah.
her 30s. She looked like she's 60 something in this damn
Yeah.
scene.
Baby, the way
Mm-hmm.
they had that in the night sky, the way that moon was glistening off his
The
blue black
moonlight
body,
scenes.
Gorgeous. Beautiful. And the best way
that
to
told me
end it.
nothing.
Best way to end it. I said, now this,
Mhm.
now this is how you
I
do a movie.
I like too that they didn't over sexualize, because when you see a lot of like gay men in film, they're over sexualized and they have all of these different sexual partners, which is nothing wrong with that. But I think he said too that he's the only Kevin was the only guy that he really like did something with. Did he say
Hmm.
that?
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
he's the only
And I,
one that
I
has
like
ever
that they didn't
touched him.
over sexualize him. I had him had all these bodies, and
Hmm.
it was a different like character of a gay black man. It was like a different
Right. Because
yeah.
he hadn't even been with girls at that point.
Mm-mm.
His friend was like, where the hoes at? He said,
Hmm.
He said, I don't know.
Sister, do you see me with the hoes? No, no.
Hmm.
But I did in this third, I did love the silent moments. I love movies that give me silent moments because it says a lot. I mean, his character was quiet, but it was moments where his friend was like, man, he tried to not make it awkward, but he was just trying to change the subject because he knows him. He's like, you're still the same person I remember as a kid, and we're now
Mhm.
adults. I have a child now. And he's like, I felt like he just, I felt like Black is at a point where he himself, as a man, was still trying to figure himself out, still living
Mhm.
that persona that he felt like was a safety net for him. Let me be, in the drug game. Let me be a street dude. Let me get these muscles. Let me get this body. And let me just stop for a moment because that man is just fine. Devontae is one fine black man.
Jesus
That
God.
man
Oh,
right there made me watch Tyler
Woo,
Perry
praise
movie again.
God. Mm,
Oh, Jesus, if you ever hear this
mm.
prayer, you just send my husband.
we're not talking about Mia Copa and Hitler. Y'all are bad.
Woo, praise him.
Ooh, we just needed that moment of praise,
Hallelujah.
Yeah, we needed it.
Mm. But that man, ooh,
Mm,
Only God can
mm.
do it. Only
take
God can
me
do it.
to
Hey,
the deep. I don't have much to breathe.
mm.
Ooh, that man is fine. I said, ooh.
Not you singing that
Jesus.
song.
Because he is so
Take
fine.
me
And
to
it's
the
like
king.
he made himself into the figure of what he thought he needed to be. He needed to
Mhm.
be buff. He needed to be into the streets, which his friend was
Hmm.
like, that's not you.
It
Now, why are you in the
almost looked
streets?
like he tried to turn into Juan. If you look at it, think about
Oh.
that.
Ah, I'm
You're
about to do
not
that too.
lying.
I was about to do that.
You're not lying.
I never thought of it
Wow,
that
wow.
that is.
It's
Well, well.
almost
I
like he
didn't.
tried to turn into Juan because Juan was in the drug game.
Mm-hmm.
Juan was buff, but Juan was sensitive too. Juan had a
Mm-hmm.
heart. Juan was Juan wasn't, he. I'm just saying.
That I did not think of that. I
That's
did
a good
not
way
think of
of
that.
thinking it that
Mm.
way. And the funny thing is, Kevin was kind of a contrast from Black because Kevin was always the talkative one. Kevin seemed like he was the
Hmm.
charismatic one. When Black was
Mm-hmm.
always reserved and to himself, Kevin
Yeah.
was like probably the popular guy in school.
He
So to see
was.
like the two of them, so like it's kind of like both of them finish each other, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Even the part of him holding him. I said, now
at the
how
end,
you guys
yeah.
at the beach and then now we're back in the same position where you're at home.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And it's like it made me want to know like what happened after this. Because not
That's
even
what
just the
Eric.
part
Listen,
literally.
when the movie went off, we all gasped like and stood there and sat there like, wait, I'm waiting. And the credits came up, and I was like, no, no, I am riveted. I am captivated. You have just left me here salivating for more. Why? Why? Why?
But I actually
I
do
was
love
so
movies
riveted.
that do that because then it leaves subject to the imagination. So you kind of create
Yeah.
the story. You end up creating the ending of the story in your mind. But I did. It's such a beautiful film though. Such a beautiful, well done.
Mm,
I know it's based on a play. I would have loved to seen the play. I would have loved to see
I
the
did
play.
not see the play either. I did not see the play.
yeah, me either.
But yeah, I was riveted at the end. We left
Mhm.
there and we drove from me and my friends. It was four of us. We all rode together. And I remember we argued all the way back because we came back to my house for like drinks and shit. And we argued the whole way about the ending. That was our whole argument, the ending. Like some of us were mad, some of us were like, it was good. And I was on the mad side because I was like, no, I was left there riveted. I wanted more. More.
I hate, but I love movies like that because
Mm.
it makes me now create an ending that settles my little soul and be like, well, they probably lived happily ever after, or he probably just never went back to the drug game and just made their little happy family, whoop de whoop. But we would
Mhm.
never know. And overall, the movie was very thought provoking. so many conversations. Not even just about him being gay. It was so many conversations about
So many conversations. Mhm.
how black men have to live a certain life for survival.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And oh, I was mad because I usually go to the movie by myself, and I was like trying to call people. Have you seen Moonlight? I'm like, ain't nobody watched this movie. Nobody watched. I can't talk to nobody, so I got to talk to myself in this mirror because there's nobody
I
else
was so
behind me.
glad. I was so glad I made how I found out about it was one of my students that was an extra in the movie. He came up to me. He said, Dr. L, it's a movie coming out. It's called Moonlight. It's about, black guy who's, gay and stuff like that. I think you'll love the movie. I'm an extra and a bunch of us are extras, and you should go. And so they were like, it comes out on this day. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna go watch. But when he told me it was black and gay guy, I told my, four friends that we all go. I say, we gotta go see this movie. I heard it's good. I don't know. If it's not, blame it on me. We can come to my house afterwards and have some drinks. And we the four, and I made them go. They didn't want to go, but I made them. I said, we have to go see this. And we went the day it came out and went back the next week to watch it again. We went back the next week to watch it again. They were like, we got to go see this again. So I will say it was a great movie. Great movie. Great
Oh,
movie.
great. I did like the question that he asked him when Kevin was like, "Who are you?"
Mhm.
He was like, "Who are you?" He's like,
Mm.
"Because who I'm seeing now as a grown man, this can't be you." And he just was just looking at him. I don't really remember if he answered the question. Did he remember? Do you remember if he answered the question?
I don't think he did. I think it was
No.
another one of those moments where he did like these head nod or something like that, and then you
Mhm.
just hear the music. Like there was through this last part, there was a lot of music in the
Mm-hmm.
background that would
Mhm.
tell the story and paint the picture
Classic
of
Man
Aretha.
by
what's going on.
Judea, whoever. The
They had
music,
Aretha Franklin. I said,
they had a
That Aretha Franklin in the diner. They don't owe me nothing. Don't owe me
he
nothing.
said,
Mhm.
"Oh, this song reminded me of you." I said, "Aretha." Huh.
Have you, speaking of the music, have you heard the soundtrack for this movie? Because I listen to this, I've always listened to the soundtracks before I watch the movies. The soundtrack is good. The
I didn't
Oh
soundtrack
listen
no,
is
to
no,
the
no!
good.
soundtrack.
All the songs in this movie are
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The
everything.
beginning song, every nigga is a star. Every nigga is a star. What? That song? I love the way how they started it off the movie with that song, basically foreshadowing, telling you what it's going to be about. Basically, he's just so good. I'm probably gonna watch it again before this month is out.
I love that movie.
Definitely, it's so good, so
Mm-hmm.
good.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I
What's your
need
next
more.
movie?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Dee,
we're
what's your
gonna
next?
talk about it, huh? We're
What's
gonna
the
talk
next
about it,
movie?
but
Have you ever
so
seen The Skinny?
overall, what happened?
Have you ever seen The Skinny?
Yeah, Dustin Ross is in there.
Dustin Ross is in that one.
Oh, I didn't
Or
tell you
B
I
Boy
met
Blues.
him.
What about B Boy Blues? That was a good one.
I never watched that, but have
It was
I?
good.
Well, the my next one is more of a lesbian movie, but it is good. But
Oh, lesbians.
before we do that, any final thoughts?
Um,
10 out of 10.
10
That's
out of
it.
10 for me too.
I thought it should have got Best Picture that year.
It did. It did. Remember they read it wrong, and the guy was like, "Oh
Oh yeah,
no, we
you're
didn't
right. Because I
win."
remember Mahershala won for Best Supporting,
Mahershala won. What's
and
his
then
name?
it
I
did
think
win
won
Best. You're
too.
right. You're right. I thought it was just Mahershala, but it did win Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
It
Good job.
did.
Yeah. Well, 10 out of 10 for me, definitely. It was an amazing movie. Now the
Mm-hmm.
next movie that we're gonna talk about, I don't know if you guys ever watched this, but it's called, let me see if it's gonna pop up. Pariah.
Oh, I've watched
Ooh, I've
Pariah.
seen that.
I've watched
I've seen
Pariah.
it a
So
couple
good. Another
times.
coming of age
Oh,
It's
it's
story.
good.
so
So
good.
good.
I haven't watched it in a minute. Okay, I'm
So
excited.
Oh,
good.
it is
Kim,
so
Kim
good.
Wayne, Kim Waynes.
Listen. Oh my God. I thought I was the only person in the world that has seen this movie. I've
No, I
seen
don't
I've
even
this
seen
know
it
if I
movie
many
watched it.
times.
When did I watch
several
It's in
Pariah?
New
times.
York too. It's so
Oh
it is
my
another relatable
God.
story for me too.
It is.
Pariah is so good, and it's on
Oh,
Amazon.
I've seen this movie at least
It's
4
on
or 5
Amazon
times.
because I watched it like a few days ago. I said,
Really?
let me see, huh? Yeah, it's on Amazon. You watched it before,
No,
girly?
I watched it once. I watched
It's
it.
so good.
I love Amazon, even though they got
Yeah.
not the best
Amazon
movies,
has all
but
the
I love.
movies.
So I'm
Amazon has
Wow,
all
that's
excited.
a
the
good
talent.
movie. Such a good movie.
So
God.
good, really
Yeah.
good. It reminded me of
Oh,
back in the day. But we will be talking. We'll be discussing it. Elteddy, you are more than welcome to come back
Are
to
you
talk
coming back?
about this.
God. Now you gotta make me come back for Pariah. I
Yes,
love that
Pariah
movie.
was so
Oh, it's
good.
so the writing in this movie. Oh my God.
It's
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
very similar to Moonlight. Very
yeah.
similar,
Mhm.
Yeah.
not the same way
Hmm.
but it's another coming of age story about a young
Yeah.
Oh
teenager.
my
Oh, so
God.
good. The actress, all the actors and actresses did really good. And
Oh
for
my
it to be like an indie film, I think it should have had like a bigger release. It
It
should have
should
been
have.
nominated for stuff and it didn't.
I
But I think at
stumbled
that
on this movie years ago. I
Same.
stumbled on it years ago.
I remember because I'm still a big movie fan, but I will always look at independent movies, and I found it online somewhere and I watched it. I was like, oh, I gotta watch this again. This was really good.
I think
Mhm.
I watched
Kim
it during COVID.
No,
Raines,
no, I
this is
watched it
great stuff.
before COVID, but I
I
stumbled
watched
on
it
it. I was looking for
years
something
ago.
else. I was looking for something else, and I thought this was that, and I ended up watching it and falling in love with it, and just
Oh,
watched a bunch of times. Oh my God. I was looking for another
so
movie. It
good.
was called something else, but it was about somebody who was a pariah, and I thought that was the name of the movie.
hmm Yeah,
I
but it
can't wait.
was
I'm
so.
excited.
I'm gonna watch it again this week. So
You
good,
have
such
to
a
join
great
us.
movie.
You have to join us.
You have to come
Have
back.
to. Yeah.
You have to come
Okay.
back.
This was good. This was good.
hmm
I
So
enjoyed
before
y'all.
we go, Teddy, where can the people find you, and what do you have
Oh
happening
God, where do they
in this
find
month
me?
of June, Pride Month?
I'm trying to get my Pride Month feature together. I got 2 ideas for my Pride Month features. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if any of them are gonna come through, but we'll see. But I'll do my daily lives at around 5 o'clock, the drive at 5, where I go live. Run your mouth. We talk about things. I have my silly Saturdays. I have some reviews that I'm supposed to have gotten out. Interview with the Vampire today was everything.
Oh,
Everything.
I'm still on episode 3. I have to watch. I have to catch up.
Today's
I heard it
episode.
was good.
Ooh, today's episode made me go,
Oh
ooh.
God, I'm hearing people saying that they're scared for Claudia. I got to watch it. I'm like,
Well,
what?
yeah, I'm scared for Claudia, but today's episode, I'm
Uh-huh.
scared for Louis and Daniel. After what you find out in today's episode, it's
Well, then
like,
I gotta catch up. I'll probably watch not you
because
fixing
we
your
know
hair.
what's going to happen to Claudia. We already know what's going to happen to
Yeah,
Claudia.
we do, but I like that the fact that they're kind of making.
Right. But what happened today, that didn't happen in the movie. That was not in it. That's from the book. And all of the stuff that
Mm.
came out today, you're like, oh,
Oh, I'm
I'm
still on
scared
episode
for
3.
y'all.
I gotta finish. There's so
Yeah.
much stuff that I'm watching and doing that it's like I still have to finish Drag Race. I got to a part. I was watching it and I fell asleep. I woke
You
up.
ain't
I
missing
saw
nothing with
Got Me
Drag Race.
crying. I was like, "What is going on?
You ain't
Why is everybody
you ain't
crying
missed nothing. They crying for nothing. They crying for nothing. The
for nothing?"
baby,
All right,
I'm
well, I'm
I
gonna
think I'm
see.
more mad at Ingeria than anybody for not
Well,
dragging them. They,
I'm gonna watch that later because I was like, everybody keeps talking about this episode was a mess. Like before I started, like since
just
Friday,
a
everybody was like,
mess.
Drag Race was crazy.
Just
But
a
so
mess.
much going on.
But yeah, find
But
me on my channel, Elteddy27 official. I'll be there with the insanity that is my channel.
girlie, what about yourself?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram at
Mm-hmm.
the Girly Tomboy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, fashion content. Working on a
Mm-hmm.
photo shoot. So please,
Oh,
Ooh.
photo shoot.
book me
Mm-hmm.
if you're serious. Don't DM
Mm-hmm.
me. Emails only.
Emails.
Oh,
Come on, professional.
We professional over here. Real.
Professional. As you guys know, we are in the house of D. And once you like, comment, and subscribe, you are a roommate here. So feel free to do all of that. This month I realized this didn't really happen on purpose, but a lot of my content is LGBT coded. A lot of it is. We on Friday, I guess maybe on Friday nights I'll stick to doing the review for House on Fire. Great show. I'm not a big reality TV person, but it's so good. As well as you guys are here every Sunday night at 8, we're gonna be covering a lot of different movies and stuff. Movie Madness with Dee and The Girliee. Like I said, next week we're gonna talk about Pariah. So even the people that are in the comments, go watch it so you guys could talk in the comments with us.
It's a
As
good
well
movie.
as such a good movie. As well as on Sundays at 3 p.m. I'm doing my Sunday Fun Day vlogs for this month. Is all LGBT and Pride, and I dropped today my Queens Pride vlog. Next week I dropped Brooklyn Pride. Oh my god, Brooklyn Pride yesterday was so much fun. It was people stopping me just because they liked my outfit and wanted to take pictures with me. I'm like, who am I, Beyonce? Like people were so nice. So nice and not shady like that Queen last week. But but yeah, that's what we have going on here. Yeah, so remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 1K. Hope Hey, let's say 2K. I'm at currently right now 831, I want to say. Slow and steady wins
Yes.
the race. Oh well. But anyway,
Welcome to the
I'll talk to you.
family.
Huh?
I said, welcome to the family.
Welcome to the
Of
family.
course.
Play a room here. But remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later for something. Peace. I am. Shut up.